graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
Let me ask you a question. When you were a kid, have you ever wanted something so bad, but when you finally got it, you hated it so much because it was nowhere near your expectations? There's no doubt in my mind that a lot of you, if not all of you, had this experience. And in my opinion, the best example of this is Mario's Time Machine for the Super Nintendo. This is quite possibly the biggest fucking scam I have ever experienced in my childhood. And to understand why, let me tell you a little story. Around 1995 or 96, me and my bro went to a game rental store to get some games. We rented 2 Super Nintendo games, Beavis and Butthead and this game. The latter was for me since I loved Mario so much. Now when I rented the game, the cartridge was inside a plastic transparent VHS cover. No box, no manual, just the cartridge. And the cartridge only said Mario's Time Machine. And since I play Super Mario World like everybody else obviously, I thought this would be the next logical step in the Mario series, and I was so excited to travel through time with Mario in different worlds. I mean, come on, who wouldn't be excited for that? But when I finally popped it in, nothing would describe the disappointment I suffered. In fact, I almost cried. After that, I quickly switched to Beavis and Butthead. Now, the Beavis and Butthead game is not a great game by no means, but it is leaps and bounds ahead of this atrocity. So why is this game so dreadful? Find out in today's episode of Awful Games. So based on the story this game has, you'd think this would be a fun adventure game like Super Mario World, right? I mean, you got Bowser stealing things from other time periods and Mario has to stop them, so this has to be a good game, am I right? And look, even the graphics look exactly like Super Mario World. You'd think that Nintendo would finally make a sequel to Super Mario World on the SNES, but no. Not even in your dreams. In fact, this game wasn't even developed by Nintendo. It was made by some company called Software Toolworks or something like that. I think Nintendo only published the game. Not only that, it's not even a platform adventure game like most of Mario's titles. Are you ready for this? It's an educational game! This game was clearly not marketed as an educational game. This game was marketed as a platform adventure game. And now you know all the lies and deception this company made to all the children who cried mommy after playing this. And it's not even a good educational game like, say, Carmen Sandiego or Number Munchers. This is one of those boring educational games where you have to fill in the blanks. That's right, I said it. Fill in the blanks. And worst of all, you have to know these because this game doesn't give you a direct answer right away. In fact, this game sucks at giving you good hints. I'll get to more on that in a moment. Now, I like the idea that this game makes you think, but this is just ridiculous. You know, and the funny thing is, I was 9 years old when I rented this game back in 96, but when this game came out in 93, I was 6 years old. I think I was either starting first grade at the time when I was 6, or still in kindergarten. When I rented this game, I had no idea what to do. Imagine me getting this game at the time of its release. Oh boy. I mean, what little kid is gonna know about any of these things? Not all schools start history early. For some, you gotta wait until you're in like 3rd or 4th grade. Hell, I don't think I was in 4th grade yet at the time I rented this game, and the only thing I probably knew about back then was the Declaration of Independence and Thomas Jefferson. I mean, holy Charles Manson almighty, this is ludicrous! Now let me explain the objective of the game. There are 5 artifacts here, and you have to send them all back to their respective time periods to save history from Bowser. But in order to do so, you have to do these boring fill-in-the-blanks questions first, like I said earlier. Otherwise, it won't work. And believe me, it's a real chore to do this. I have never been so bored at a game in my entire life. Fortunately, there is a part in the game that actually looks like a game. Unfortunately, though, it doesn't play so good. I'll get to that in a moment, but first let me introduce you to Time Tits. Why is it called Time Tits? Well, just look at it. Look at the top of the time machine and you'll see why. Anyway, after you set your coordinates, which takes like fucking forever for some reason, you're taken to the only part of the game that actually looks like a game. It's the best part of the game, but that's not saying a whole lot. That's like saying piss tastes better than puke. All you do in this part is surf around, collect enough mushrooms, avoid spike traps, and go inside a whirlpool, cause you know, if you want to travel through time, you better know how to surf, or else forget it. Forget about changing your past mistakes. Think of the bonus stages in Sonic 3D Blast on the Genesis, but 10 times worse. So anyway, after that huge disappointment, you're finally at the right time. Here you talk to a bunch of people to find out where to return the artifact and where the right historical figure is. For example, you gotta give the Declaration of Independence to Thomas Jefferson. And like I said earlier, the people around you give you some hints to answer the fill-in-the-blank questions. Once you're done, you get out your time bomb and go back to 1993. And you have to do this over and over and over again until you return all the artifacts. Fun, isn't it? Just like the Mario we all know and love. Oh, I fucking wish it was. Alright, so we finally completed all the levels. Now we can finally reach Bowser and kick it. What?! We have to do more questions?! Is this some kind of sick joke?! What?! You mean to tell me you have to do more questions after you complete the 5 questions?! This is the worst fucking educational game I've ever played! I swear to God, I've never seen something like this! Oh my fucking God! Oh my... Oh shit! Fuck this game. I hope the people at Software Toolworks go bankrupt, die, and burn in hell. Cause that's what they deserve for making a game like this. Oh my God. You know, I am this close to taking out Desktop Destroyer. But I really need to gain my composure. Oh, fuck it. There, you happy now? It's a cheap special effect, but it gets the job done. I've played a lot of educational games on PCs and Macs in my day, but I have never seen an educational game this boring in my entire life. And the worst part about this, it's a Mario game! A game with a character from games that we all love to play. A game franchise that was a benchmark for games in general. And these no-good nobodies have the nerve to make this? Mario's Time Machine is a fucking disgrace. It is probably, no, definitely the worst Mario game ever made. This game makes Super Mario Bros. Special on the PC 88 Game of the Year. I am dead serious. It's that bad. So like Pit Fighter, this also gets a shit green. Now I'm well aware that there is a game like this called Mario is Missing, and it was actually made by the same people. I never played that game, but here's a funny story. The very same day I rented Mario's Time Machine, I also saw Mario's Missing at the same rental store. The only difference was that it actually had its box, unlike Mario's Time Machine. I was gonna get that game after Mario's Time Machine, but after returning it and looking at the screenshots in the back, I found it pretty lame, so I rented Super Mario Kart instead. And looking back at it and looking at all the negative reviews, I'm glad I never got it. With that said, I'm not gonna review it. I've already put up with one bad Mario game, and I don't need to put up with another made by the exact same people. With that said, stick to Super Mario World. Don't be fooled by these scammers.